Right, hi guys, welcome to today's daily devotional reading. We're going to be reading Romans 6 verse 12. Okay, so I'm reading from the New Living Translation. Read from whatever translation you like. Do not let sin control the way you live. Do not give in to sinful desires. Now, the language is pretty specific there, and I'm going to go backwards and forwards from a commentary, so you'll hear it spoken differently. But the important thing is that the permission, the actual power about sin is up to you. Do not let sin control the way you live. You have an option to let it control the way you live. And we are now free from the bounds of sin. The unsaved, they have to give in to their carnal desires. Pretty much. They're led by the flesh. Now we are saved, and our flesh is still part of us, right? Still here. But I no longer am led by or subject to my flesh. So what we need to pay attention to here is the fact that Paul is telling us we do not let sin reign in our mortal bodies anymore, so that we obey its desires, right? Your mortal body has desires. Hunger for food is a desire of the body, not a desire of the spirit. Does that help you? So you have desires of your body that you do not have to be subject to. You are able to do so. You are able to refuse to allow sin to reign in your bodies. Secondly, there is sin. Although it's defeated, it's okay to know, it's comforting, it's almost comforting to know that sin still exists, and my body, this flesh, still desires to sin, even though my spirit does not want to sin. My spirit is made perfect. My flesh is not yet. Thirdly, there is your mortal body. So you have a mortal body, which just reminds us that, guys, we still have this body, like I've said. You are a triune being, and two of those components are your spirit and your flesh. And your flesh is with you for the rest of your life, and you're going to have to contend with it. However, you are already victorious. It is not a battle against the flesh. It is simply knowing that the flesh does stand in a new position and is not subject to sin. Fourthly, there are the desires of the body. I'm just going to read this here quickly. This does not refer only to physical sins such as immorality or gluttony or physical laziness. The point is that all sins come to us through the body. That's really interesting. So sin is directly from the flesh, from the carnal desires. It's not from spiritual desires. Your spiritual desires always want good and great things, godly things, things that have been sanctified. Jesus says that sin comes out of the heart, but although sin comes out of our hearts, it is the fact that we are in mortal bodies that gives rise to the fact that sin still emerges. So you can still have a heart posture, a heart condition, a spiritual position that thinks about sin, that is tempted by sin, but it manifests itself in your body. There is some striving to do in the Christian life, but we are striving from a place of victory. So we live from victory, not for victory. Victory was done at the cross. We have that victory. We have that mantle of victory now, and we can live from that position. So the victory is ours. Conquering sin is ours, but will you live from that position? It's not a matter of letting God do it or handing over to God. What is that phrase? There's that phrase, let go and let God. No. We don't let go and let God. We actually appropriate the power that we have over sin, and we outwork it. Because if we're more than conquerors, how can we be more than conquerors if we don't have anything to conquer? If there's no battle, then what are we doing? So while we're on this side of eternity, the battle is won in our flesh, but we still have to contend that battle. And let me see. These commands are addressed to us. If you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them. You will be blessed if you do them, but you have to do them. What is that saying? It's so beautiful. Without God, I cannot, but without me, God will not. There is actually this divine dance of God's will and intent for us only being outworked when we partner with Him. So live that life where you have dominated and had victory over sin. But you must live that life, and the Lord will partner with you. We come to this task with a sense of victory. Guys, if I just leave you with one thing, Lord, just instill the sense of victory in everybody who's watching now. You have conquered sin through Jesus. And it's hard sometimes, and sin is a battle, but it is a battle you've already won. Don't let your enemy simply walk back in the front door when all you had to do was close that door. So guys, I hope you feel encouraged. You can refuse sin's reign. I'll read that scripture one more time quickly. Do not let sin control the way you live. Do not give in to sinful desires. It's in your flesh. It's not in your eternal spirit. Choose where you're going to live. Love you guys. Stay well. Until the next one. Bye.